They all start with the same number, $100, a crisp bill, a small digital balance. It's not just money, it's a seed, a key. It's the price of a lottery ticket to a different life, and the market is the grand, chaotic lottery machine. You arrive at its gates not with capital but with hope, a dangerous, intoxicating currency that spends far faster than cash. You see the charts as a map to treasure. You believe there's a secret language hidden in the candles, a rhythm only the chosen can hear. You think knowledge is the missing ingredient, a hidden indicator, a secret strategy whispered in a forum, a guru's perfect setup. So you consume. You watch hours of videos, read dusty PDFs, and fill your charts with so many lines they look like the schematics for a starship. You feel prepared. You feel intelligent. You are standing on the edge of a cliff, admiring the view, convinced you can fly. The first trade feels like a prophecy. You place it and the world holds its breath. Green ticks are dopamine hits. Red ticks are small, insignificant doubts. You're not trading a market, you're fighting a dragon, and you've just landed the first blow. The initial wins are pure confirmation bias. They whisper that you were right all along. This isn't gambling, it's a science, and you are its newest prodigy. That first $100 doubles. The feeling is electric. You aren't just making money. You are creating it from nothing, from intellect alone. You are an alchemist. The world of paychecks and bosses and slow, grinding effort seems a distant, primitive reality. You have found the cheat code. The market seems to bend to your will. The patterns you learned are everywhere. You see them in your sleep. It's a language you now speak fluently, a dance you've finally mastered. The dream isn't just possible, it's inevitable. That $100 seed is already a sprout, and you can almost taste the fruit. But a seed planted in unplowed ground, without good soil, is just food for the crows. And the crows are always watching, they are patient. They have seen a million hopeful gardeners just like you. And they are always hungry. The market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Chaos begins not with a bang, but with a flicker. A trade that should have worked, but didn't. A pattern that was textbook perfect, but failed. It's a small crack in your perfect reality. An anomaly. You dismiss it. A fluke. The market is just being irrational. You double down on the next trade to win it back, to prove the fluke was just a fluke. This is the first sin. Revenge. You are no longer trading your strategy. You are trading your bruised ego. And the market is the worst possible place to fight a personal battle. The screen turns red, the color of blood, the color of debt. It's a visceral, primal warning that your logical brain chooses to ignore. The numbers drop faster than you can process. Your brilliant strategy, your secret knowledge, is worthless against the raw, emotional panic rising in your chest. Your finger hovers over the close button. But closing means admitting defeat. It means accepting the loss. It means you were wrong. And your pride, inflated by those early wins, cannot accept that. So you hold, you pray, you bargain with gods you don't believe in. You are no longer a trader. You are a passenger in a car with no brakes, heading for a wall. The $100 is gone. Vanished. It feels like theft. You were robbed. The system is rigged. The brokers, the whales, the algorithms, they conspired against you. It's a comforting lie. It protects the fragile ego from the devastating truth. You were not the hero of this story. You were the fool. The cycle repeats. You deposit another 100. This time you'll be more careful. But careful is just another word for fearful. You hesitate on good setups. You jump into bad ones, afraid of missing out. You cut winners short and let losers run, a classic portrait of retail ruin. The market has planted a seed of its own inside you, fear, and it is a far more powerful force than your hope ever was. You become a data junkie. More indicators, more screens, more news feeds. You're searching for certainty in an arena that guarantees none. The noise is deafening. The conflicting signals pull you in a dozen different directions at once. You are paralyzed by information, a captain spinning the wheel wildly in every direction as the storm rages. Your mind is a battlefield. Greed fights fear. Hope fights despair. Logic fights impulse. Every tick of the chart is a new skirmish. You are exhausted, not from the work, but from the internal war. The market isn't just taking your money. It's consuming your peace, your sleep, your very sense of self. It reveals the gambler that lives inside the scholar. It reveals the addict that lives inside the entrepreneur. It peels back the layers of your identity until only the raw, reactive, emotional core is left. And it feasts on it. The rock bottom isn't a zero balance. The rock bottom is the moment you look at the screen and feel nothing but a cold, hollow emptiness. The game is over. The dream is dead. You have given it your time, your money, your emotional energy, and you have absolutely nothing to show for it but a scar. This is the great filter. Most people quit here. They walk away, forever convinced that trading is a rigged casino. They are right, but for the wrong reasons. It is a casino, but the house edge isn't in the system. It's in your own human nature. The machine isn't the enemy. The man in the mirror is. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. The silence after the storm is profound. For the first time, there are no charts on, no news feeds scrolling, no gurus shouting. There is only the quiet hum of a refrigerator and the loud, ringing question in your own mind. What just happened? You turn off the noise not as an act of defeat, but as an act of survival. The withdrawal is painful. The urge to check the charts to see what you're missing is a physical itch. But in this forced stillness, something new begins to grow. Clarity. You begin to understand that you were not studying the market. You were fighting it. You were trying to impose your will on an ocean. You were trying to predict the unpredictable, to control the uncontrollable. The ego that believed it could outsmart a global system of collective fear and greed was the very source of your failure. The focus shifts, slowly, painfully, from the external to the internal. The question changes from, how can I make money, to why do I lose money? The search for a holy grail strategy ends, and the search for self-awareness begins. It's a less exciting journey. There are no promises of overnight riches. There is only the cold, uncomfortable work of introspection. You read, but not about indicators. You read about stoicism, about cognitive biases, about emotional regulation, about discipline. You study Marcus Aurelius more than you study moving averages. You realize the market is a mirror. It reflects your own impatience, your own fear, your own greed, your own lack of discipline. It is the most brutally honest feedback mechanism on the planet. It doesn't care about your story, your hopes, or your excuses. It only cares about your actions. The charts were never the territory. They were just the map. And you were reading it upside down, trying to navigate the world while looking only at a piece of paper. The real territory was your own mind. This is the great pivot. The journey from technician to psychologist. You stop trying to be right about every trade. Instead, you start focusing on executing a process flawlessly. The outcome of any single trade is random. The outcome of 1,000 trades executed with discipline is a statistical probability. You are no longer hunting for treasure. You are building a fortress, brick by painful brick. The first and best victory is to conquer self. To be conquered by self is, of all things, the most shameful. You sit down with a blank page, not a chart, but a notebook. You write a plan. Not a plan to get rich, but a plan to not be stupid. What is my edge? How much will I risk? Under what conditions will I enter? Under what conditions will I exit? No ambiguity. No room for emotion. A contract written with yourself, signed in the blood of your past failures. This document becomes your scripture. It is the constitution for the new country you are building, the country of one. Yourself. You are its only citizen and its only ruler. The rules are absolute. The law is the law. The first few trades under this new regime are terrifying. Your old habits scream for attention. Your impulse wants to break the rules. Your fear wants you to run. Your greed wants you to take more. Following the plan is an act of sheer brute force willpower. It feels unnatural. It feels restrictive. It feels boring. But then something happens. A trade hits its stop loss. You followed the plan. You feel the sting of being wrong, but it's a clean sting. There is no emotional hangover, no regret, no self-loathing, just a small calculated loss, an expected business expense. It is a revelation. For the first time, a loss feels like progress. You are not just managing your money. You are managing your behavior. You are managing your impulses. You are managing the wild animal inside you that has been running the show. The focus is no longer on the money, it's on the process. Did I follow the plan, yes or no? It is a binary question. It is the only question that matters. The account balance becomes a secondary byproduct, a lagging indicator of your discipline. The journal becomes your most important tool. Every trade is logged, the setup, the entry, the exit, the reason. But more importantly, you log your state of mind. Was I calm? Was I anxious? Did I feel FOMO? You are gathering data not on the market but on yourself. You are the system you are trying to optimize. You are the code you are trying to debug. This is the work. It is not glamorous. It will never be a viral YouTube video. It is the slow, repetitive, monotonous task of building a foundation. It is laying one brick perfectly, then another, then another. It is the quiet discipline of doing the right thing over and over when no one is watching. The growth is not in the equity curve. It's in the space between stimulus and response. Before, the market would flash a signal and you would react, a puppet on a string. Now the market flashes a signal. You pause, you breathe, you consult your plan, and then, only then, you act, deliberately, calmly, without attachment. You begin to see the market not as an adversary, but as a river of probability. Your job is not to fight the current or predict its path, but simply to put your boat in the water when the conditions of your plan are met, and let the river do the rest. Sometimes the river takes you where you want to go, sometimes it doesn't. It is irrelevant. You control the launch, the river controls the destination. True control is knowing what you cannot control. The small wins start to compound, not just in your account but in your confidence. It's not the flashy confidence of the ego, but the quiet, deep confidence of competence. The confidence of a craftsman who trusts his tools because he built them himself and knows their every strength and limitation. You learn to embrace boredom. Excitement is the enemy. Excitement is adrenaline, it's emotion. It's the siren song of the gambler. Boredom is the sound of a well-oiled machine. It is the sound of a professional at work. It is the sound of your plan executing as designed. You are no longer trying to catch every move. You are waiting patiently like a sniper. Days can go by without a signal. The old you would have forced a trade out of impatience. The new you sits and waits. Your stillness is your strength. Your patience is your weapon. The goal of a wise man is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. The $100 becomes 1,000. The 1,000 becomes 10,000. The numbers get bigger, but you feel nothing. The process is the same. The risk is managed in percentages, not dollars. Risking 1% of $1 million account feels exactly the same as risking 1% of a $100 account. The emotional charge is gone. It has been replaced by cold, calculated professionalism. Trading becomes a reflection of your inner state. If your life is chaotic, your trading will be chaotic. If your mind is undisciplined, your equity curve will be undisciplined. So you work on yourself more than you work on your charts. You meditate, you exercise, you read. You build a life of structure and discipline outside of the market, so that you can bring that same structure and discipline to it. The millionaire mindset was never about the $1 million. It was about becoming the person who could be trusted with $1 million. The market is the ultimate vetting process. It asks you one question over and over: are you worthy? Are you disciplined enough? Are you patient enough? Are you resilient enough? The money is simply the final grade. It is the ultimate validation that you have passed the test, that you have conquered the only true opponent you will ever face in the markets or in life: yourself. The final state is one of flow, of clarity. The conscious mind, the one that used to wrestle with fear and greed, has gone quiet. The process is so deeply ingrained that it has become subconscious. It is like breathing. You don't think about your entries or exits anymore. You just see. You just know. You are not predicting. You are recognizing. The patterns in the market are reflections of patterns you have burned into your own neural pathways through thousands of hours of focused, deliberate practice. Your intuition is not a mystical gift. It is a high-speed data processor built from a library of experience running in the background. It is earned. The numbers on the screen are an abstraction. The P&L is just data. You are detached from the outcome of any single event, because you are utterly connected to the integrity of your process. This is the freedom every trader seeks, but few find. The freedom from the emotional slavery of money. You realize the money was a tool, a means to an end. The end was not a lifestyle of fast cars and luxury. The end was sovereignty, the freedom to command your own mind, the power to act in accordance with your own chosen principles in the face of chaos and uncertainty. That initial $100 was the best tuition you ever paid. It bought you a ticket to the most difficult school in the world, a school with a curriculum designed by the collective psychology of mankind. A school where the final exam is a battle against your own reflection. To turn $100 into $1 million is not an act of financial wizardry. It is an act of profound personal transformation. You don't change the market, you change yourself. The market simply rewards you for the change. The charts fade into the background. The core principles stand out in stark, brilliant relief. Discipline, patience, objectivity, humility. These are not trading strategies. They are virtues. They are the pillars of a Stoic mind. A mind that cannot be shaken by the noise of the crowd or the volatility of the moment. And in that unshakable quiet, you find not only your fortune, but your peace, the ultimate profit, the true return on investment. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life,